Okay.
Hello,
Hello, Opsi.
Alpha.
Mr. Molola, thanks for joining. Mr. Delagbo, you can share
Good
your
evening,
screen now.
everyone.
Good evening.
Hello, everybody. So we can start now, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. So let's proceed. Yesterday I gave an. Hello, can you all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I said yesterday I gave an assignment and I want to know how to get a feedback as to how many of us have laid our hands on the assignment and if there is any issue. So we start from there. Today we start from correcting the assignment and then we move on to the other issues we have to address today on data cleaning, and then so next week we proceed to the next part of it.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Okay, so can you send a screenshot of your answer to the group?
I should send you what?
Okay, I'll share my screen now. I'll show you what part of this thing to share. So go to your
Or she can share her screen also.
I'm coming. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so under the brand name, after you filtered it, so I want you to share your screen, then show us all the brand names that are highlighted here so that we can know whether it's everything is done. So just screenshot this portion of your screen and drop it on the WhatsApp group for those that have done theirs. So anyone else who has done his or her own? Yeah, so who else has his or her own?
My system is not connected to the internet, so I'm using my phone.
Okay, and you can actually snap it and send so that we can
Okay.
see. Yeah.
Okay.
So who else tried it and is having issues, or who else has done their? So let's see it.
Mr. Dolapo, your screen is blank.
Okay, so I don't know why it's being showing blank, but
Women cannot go backwards in lifestyle. Can't fucking do it. Women cannot go backwards in lifestyle. They can't do it. That's right. They didn't say, I was the best woman can't fucking do it. Yeah.
how about now?
Just show it now.
Use your job or something.
Okay.
Sometimes it's so easy. Yeah, but you know what? We're gonna get through this. We're gonna get through this. I know we got some bills, but we gotta get rid of some of this shit. She's talking about you. That's right. She may not leave today. You'll lose.
All right. So anyone else who attempted apart from her, so that we can proceed. I want to look at this thing that was done from those that did the assignment yesterday, and then we'll proceed from there today.
Girlfriend got on the bus. She's like, bye, bitches. I'll see y'all later. I'm getting in this warm ass car. And from that moment on, you're like, I hate you, but you got the car. You ain't this woman without a fucking car. I'm not getting on the fucking bus. That was fuck that shit. That's how the fuck we roll for the rest of your life. Later. This is the first time you ever dated a guy that is on a perk. Remember that? Got in there on a perk. You're like, you work a million, you might get fucked in here. Just scream and holler and break shit. Yell instructions. I will never fucking go out in mama's house again. And you never did. You never fucking did. Then, remember the first time you ever had a man take you on vacation? The wall was great. From that moment on, every man you dated had to take you something. You let them know. You let them say, hey.
Okay, so in the absence of none, let's proceed with what we have to do today. So let's see. So we check through the. I dropped the list of. The things we are going to be editing. I dropped them on the group, so we are going to do them together today. For the sake of those that were not able to follow. For the sake of those that were not able to follow, I dropped a list on the group. So we are going to start treating them one after the other. So by the time we are done with that, we'll look at one more thing and then we are gone. Now, the first thing we want to do is we go back to the brand name, and then we so like I said, we are going to do our Control F, and the Control F, the one we want to replace. The list is on the group, so you can actually follow from the group. So we are starting with the Sunbite. This is what we want to look for. We want to replace with Sunbite. So we have to be sure that we are replacing the correct things, and then so entire cell content. So we must match this like this, entire cell content. So we are checking through the cell content to see that it's exactly some bytes like this, and to be replaced with this. So replace all. So it has done 1,576 replacements. So the next thing we want to replace.
Sorry to cut you short. Looks like your script is now moving. I think it's wrong or something.
Okay.
She's the one that spoiled it for everybody. And that girl that did everything, she fucked it up for everybody. They pulled up on that, and what you been wow? You licking ass.
Are you seeing the find and replace on the screen?
Thanks a lot, bitch. That's right. Young man.
Now I'm not seeing the find and replace. As I don't share only Chrome. I don't share only Excel. Maybe you should try sharing the whole desktop.
Okay, I'll do that now.
Yes, sir.
That's right, ladies. Get out of it. Get out of it. That's what the fuck I'm about to say, okay? Just because he came, don't mean you made him come. Did you hear what the fuck I just said? Just because he came, does not mean you made him come. Every man in this room got 2 levels of come. Every man in it got 2 levels of come. Comes out easy. Comes out like ketchup. This ain't coming. Come out. But level 2. If we got a woman doing the precise nasty shit we like,
Okay, can you see it now?
if we wanted to wear, saying the nasty shit we wanted to say,
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so let me see. So if I can do a Control Z. Okay, so now to find Control F, we help you to find it. So what are we looking for? We are looking for some bytes, which is spelled as SNBTS. So we want to replace it. Want to replace it with some bytes like this. So can you see everything here? So we replace all. So everything is replaced. The next thing we want to do. The next one we want to replace. We want to replace red with RRD. So find red, replace it with RRD. It's as simple as that. Remember, I said match entire cell content. That's what you have to let this be selected. If not, you might have a case where it will affect other things it might affect other columns in your data sets. So you must match the entire cell content. So we are sure that okay, this is the if it's this the only thing that is in that cell. So that's what we are doing. So we are changing Smith to Smith. And finally, okay, we still have two more. So we are changing this. And the final one, so having done that, we can come back to this, inspect. We'll see that everything is gone now. You can see that everything is gone now. So all those extra ones, they are all gone. So we have everything cleaned up in that cell. So any question before we proceed to the next? Any question before we proceed to the next item on our list?
Sorry, please. How do I send after snapping it?
Okay, you can actually, you can just, using your WhatsApp, you can send it on your WhatsApp. Since you
Okay.
snap it on your phone, right? You can just
Yes.
share it on the WhatsApp group here.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
Okay, so now that being said, so we've done this, we've removed the inconsistent brand names, now left with consistent brand names as we have here. So we have Burger, CC's. So there's no one that is a duplicate of the other one with different spelling. And now this is one of the things you have to be very careful with, especially when we are dealing with text. Text like that, when we are dealing with text like that, they can actually cause issues for us if we don't check to see that they are properly, if you don't check to see that they are properly if they are properly formatted. So now we are still going to make use of this data set when we want to do pivoting. I want to pivot. We are going to still use this data set for our pivots. So now we want to look at all right, so the next thing we want to do is that on this size, you see this one, there's something with sweet spot sea salt. So we'll filter here. We click on this, select only this one, and see how many of it we've got. So we can see that there are plenty. So instead of changing everything once and for all, we want to change everything. Instead of changing everything manually, we want to change everything once and for all. So as usual, our Control F. Now there are many ways to go around this, but I want us to go through the easier route. So that settles it. So we check again. From here now, we check and we see that, oh, there are no inconsistent data here. All right, so now the next thing we want to do is, so we can actually use these filters. We can use our filters to check for consistencies and inconsistencies in our data. So here now, upon inspection, we can see the range of data that we have.
right about now. And I ain't talking about the jungle. Here's what it is. I was on safari with my family out there, taking pictures of the animals.
Okay. So now the next one I want to do, I want to look at now in an outlier. I want to show you something. Let's say we have values like this. Now we have 1,500 here. We have 40, 50, 70, 20, 50, 20, 80. You will notice that in all this data, there is one value that is off. That is off, which is this 1.5, is significantly larger than these other values here. And so there is actually a need for us to deal with it in our analysis. There are different ways of dealing with outliers. Want to work with. There's actually a way to calculate outliers, but then we can do a visual inspection of what an outlier is and how to deal with those outliers in our case. The way to handle this, how do we know if there is an outlier? When we are working with Excel, this is what we need to do. Very simple. Let's go to the total sale. We work with total sale. Total sales. The first thing you do is you want to sort them. Adjust. Now in this smallest value, you can see that the smallest values are 1.5. On the extreme side, we want to sort it from the largest to the smallest. You will notice something. You see here there is this dollar. There is a total sale of $650. Meanwhile, most of the other sales dollar. So we can say that these two constitute of what we call an outlier. Based on whatever analysis we are doing, we can actually decide to expunge those two values, and so that we'll have a regular range that we are working with. I hope that is clear. In our data set here, clear? Okay. So in our data set here, if you look at when we get to our filter, look at the price under the total sales. Let's look at isn't a 2.1. So the prices are somehow, those prices are very low, isn't it? So now, if you now look at towards the tail end, you notice that there are some prices that are what? $650 per item. So now this is significantly larger than what we have in in the other prices. So we can call this particular one an outlier. Sometimes it may not only be large values, sometimes it could be small values. To 10,000. And then we now see somebody earning 100 naira, and we now see someone else earning 250,000, is between 5,000 and 10,000. Now, what do you think is those two extreme low values? The one earning 100 naira, and the one earning maybe 250,000. We call them into the regular data. Their values are either extremely higher than what we have, or they are extremely lower than what we have. Does that answer the question now?
Yes, thank you.
Yes, so those things too, we have to watch out for them in our analysis, because if we are going to plot a graph, for example, now, if we're supposed to plot a graph based on this, now this value will somewhat affect how our graph will be rendered. We are still going to do plotting of graphs in a later time, but let's look at something quickly. So because of the enormous amount of data, that's why it's taking time to load. I'm trying to plot a graph of it so that we can have a visual display of what the graph will look like and how that price will affect our display. So just a few minutes for it to load. Okay, so while I'm waiting for the data to load and plot the graph. In case it doesn't, I'll just have to I'll just have to cancel that and proceed with other things we have to do with the data cleaning. So basically, we have treated most of the things that has to be looked at when we are doing data cleaning. So we've looked at missing value. So we are let's quickly do a recap of what we did on this particular one. Many of the work we had to do here. I'm going to drop a data set by tomorrow on this group, and so the data set I'll give instruction on what to look for, what to look out for. So now I want to tell us how to find missing values. Now, even though there are no missing values in this particular data set that we use, but I'll show you how to look for missing values and what to do with those particular missing values. And then if you have any questions, we can answer them so that by next week when we meet, by Saturday, we're in a new week. So by Saturday, we'll start with pivot table, and we are still going to use this to draw a pivot table and all. All right, so now missing values. How do we look for missing values? How we look for missing values is very simple. In Excel, I'll share another screen of mine. I'll quickly populate that with some data that we're going to use, and then I'll use it to demonstrate how to sort out missing values. All right, so I have a data set here with me that I'm going to share with intention to intent. Please, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
So I'm going to share a data set with us right now. I'm trying to remove some values from there so that we'll use that to practice how to find missing values. Then we'll now talk about what to do with them. The other one is still loading, so we'll use another data set for now. Okay, so I'm done. Okay, so here's a data set I have. The original data set does not have missing values, but I have just created missing value here. So let me know if you can see it. Hope you can all see my screen. All right, can you all see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Okay. So now I have a data set here. There are missing values here, but you might not see them because those things are very much. So because they are very much, you will not be able to see them. So there is a way we go about it. First, you filter. We all know how to filter. So we go to this under home. There is editing. You see sort and filter. So you click on filter. So it will help you put a filter on the first row. It will put a filter on the first row for us. So from there, we can search for things we want to search for. Like the other time we were trying to sort it out, it was because we added a filter to it. So filter, okay, I'll talk about the use of filters briefly. And then, but what I want to do right now, we want to look for empty data so that we will know how to clean them. So let's click on this. If you click on the filter, on the particular column you are looking for, if you click on filter, you are going to see blank. You can see blank here. So we have blanks here. Can you see? So these are all the employees without names. These are all the employees that doesn't have a name with them. So that's how to find. So whenever you see blanks, you know that there is a missing data somewhere. Is that understood? So that's it. That's how to find missing. That's how to find missing values in a particular row. So how about we now want to check here? If I want to see if there are names that are missing, there are no. You can see here now there are no blanks. Here there are no blanks. So because there are no blanks, you will not see anything here. So that means here is okay. If you check under sales, there are no blank. Here you can see null, telling us that there are blank spaces here. So let's click on the blank. Let's see. That means there are about 4 employees without. There are about 4 employees without. There are 4 employees without photos. So let's see if there are other employees here. Whether their dates are valid. Every other thing is clear. So now, why do we need to know all this? There are times when we want to work with data that only have content in them. For example, now I can say, okay, if they don't have name, they are not useful to us. So I can just decide to clear this. Those that don't have name, I can decide to remove the blanks. So what I have here now are only employees that have name. We've removed all the employees without names from here. So whatever analysis I'm doing does not include the ones that does not have name. So this is the essence of blanks. We can actually remove them. So I've already removed those ones that does not have name. Now, if I want to remove those ones that does not have name and they don't have picture also, I can also do that here. I'll just select blanks. So right now, what I have here are those that have both employee name and they have pictures. Is that understood?
Yes, sir.
All right. So that's the whole essence. So then we can do much more. We can do much more with filter. We can do much apart from working with blanks. We can actually do more with filter. And so what else can we do with filter? So far, we can see that maybe we want to do an analysis on a particular, for example, now there is a column that is called is sales. So we want to know whether they work as sales rep or not. 1 will definitely mean yes. 0 will mean false. So I want to work with only those that have sales. Now I can use filter to select that out. I can even copy out this alone. We have already started our analysis. So by using our filter already helps us to, okay, so whatever value, whatever thing you are seeing here is only affecting those who has what, whose sales is 1. Now we can say, okay, want to look at, this is a date field. This is a date field, but it only has 2 dates, 13 and 14. So it has 3 dates, those that are with 0, those that are with 13, 14. So we can say 13 is 1 o'clock. So those who have sales that is valid from 1 and or those who have sales that is valid from 2 o'clock, and what time are they valid till? Remember I told you that there is a better way to do this that I'm doing, which is what? Instead of expanding manually, I can go to home, sort and filter. I can go to format, then auto fit column width. So here, instead of having a valid date, what we are having is a number. So we can actually format so that means because this is not formatting here, it shows that the original number that was here was not an actual date. Whatever was here was not an actual date in the first place. It was not well formatted. So those are part of the things we are going to be considering. You see, in order to make it format properly as dates, we found out that the original values there were not dates, or maybe it was at the process of what's it called now? It was a process of formatting or something, that something was done to those data that made us not have a value there. So you will see, if you check our filter, in fact, our filter already tells us that there's a problem somewhere here. Our filter already tells us that there's a problem here. So those are part of the things that we look at for. So you can actually report this. Maybe you asked to do an analysis now. Upon seeing this, you can actually report this back to the original source and tell them that there is a problem here. If you look at the number we are having here, this is a very large number which is not formatted, which cannot be formatted as a date. So we can say these ones are invalid. We can invariably even remove them and say they don't have a valid date. If you check now, you will see blanks here. By removing those spaces now, we see blank automatically. So that's it about using this thing. So now the efficient way. So when you are done with your filtering, you can actually come back here and clear filter. You can come here and clear filter. So that's it about using filters. So any question we want to answer now. For example, now we want to know what the employee IDs are. Here, all employee IDs should actually be unique. The employee ID should be unique. So in case they are not unique, exactly, now here is where our data cleaning comes. Each employee ID should be unique. In case this employee ID is not unique, there is a way to now deal with it. Now, remember how to remove duplicates. The next thing we want to do is to remove the duplicate. Now, the reason why we are doing this again is because we are working with another data set, and each data set has their own problem. So you deal with each data set as it comes, but you have to know what is obtainable, what you are to look out for. So we've already listed, we look for uniqueness in cases where we feel that, okay, some things need not to be repeated, like employee ID now should not be repeated, it should be unique. So let's check remove duplicates. So it asks us where do I already selected these two. So now no two employees must have the same employee key and the same employee ID. By the time we click OK, you can see it says no duplicate value found. So that means we are good to go. Now, if I want to remove, I can try to remove duplicates based on this. So let's remove duplicates based on this particular column alone. Remove duplicates. We are not on select all. I only need employee ID. this is the only place I want to remove duplicate. So now I've removed duplicates. It tells us that there are 192 duplicate funds and only 20 unique numbers are left. So that means there are times where there are some employee key that repeated itself multiple times. Now we don't know why it was repeated multiple times, so but we'll return it. But I'm just doing that to give you an idea that these things, there are some times when there are some data that should not. Work, I'll give an assignment for us to do by tomorrow. So we have the whole week to complete the data cleaning. I will have the already clean data with me. So what you'll be submitting will be your own clean data, and then we'll verify with what I have with me. So any questions this night before we call it a day? Maybe there was something I said or something you feel I didn't touch that I was supposed to touch.
No questions from my end.
Okay, so any other person, any questions from anyone on the group? Okay, so the assignment will be a data cleaning task. We are going to be cleaning data. I'll send the data set to the group. So I'll give a brief description of what the data is and some of the things that should be looked out for in the data, and then we'll be left to clean it on our own. Now, if in case you have any issue with the data cleaning assignment, drop a message on the group. Once the assignment has been dropped and you're seeing it, drop a message so that we'll look at it together. So we'll start from there next week. We'll start from the correct the assignments, and then we'll proceed to the next thing we want to do. Yeah, so in the absence of any further questions, so I think we can actually call it a night. By tomorrow, I'll drop the assignment and I'll drop the full description for us.
Okay, sir.
All right.
So we can end the class now.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
So see you next week Saturday, same time. Mr. Dolapo, is it still 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock? Next week Saturday. This week Saturday. Mr. Dolapo.
Yes, I said if there is change in time, I'll communicate.
Okay, sir.